Okay, are y'all ready? We can go ahead and call the pre-council to order tonight and get started. Hopefully we can go through this pretty quick and have us a couple of minutes to sit and talk and make sure we're not leaving anything out that we need to cover. So, according to the agenda as laid out tonight, of course we have our call to order, our invocation. Anyone that wants to lead the invocation tonight? If not, I know we have someone in the back, I think, that has given it several times. So unless one of you want to do it, we may ask Brother Steve to come up and do it again. Steve, do you have any problem with that? We'll do it at the council meeting. We're not going to do it until then, at the council meeting. All right, we'll go to roll call. Then the approval of the agenda, item 4. Who's going to?
I can make it, pending any changes we have come up.
I can second it.
It looks like we did have some changes to the agenda.
Curfew must have been just added. The curfew must have been just added.
Yes, I'll talk to the mayor about this.
I was wondering about that. We've done that in the past.
Okay, then we're going to move into the minutes from the past meeting.
I can handle that one too.
All right, going on to 6 will be recognitions. I don't think we have anything set for tonight that I'm aware of, so we'll just move on past that one. Going to 7. Visitors is coming before the council tonight. I understand there was going to be some tonight, but I don't know if where they're at. We got Mr. Davis from the SCDO. Have you heard from Mike today? Or?
We're here at 7. That's what Trish said.
Okay, anybody else know they're going to speak tonight at the council meeting? Okay. Well, we may have a quick night there. Number 8, moving on to reports and announcements from the mayor and council. I really don't have a big list tonight. A lot of just, obviously, I'm sure all of you have gotten this, but in the last several weeks, the rain and drainage issues have been a big topic that's occupied a lot of our time, a lot of public works time. I don't know how many inches above our average we are so far this year, but we're way ahead of last year, and some of the high water that we've had has really played havoc on them trying to get some of those projects that they've planned to work on, hopefully when we have some drier weather. But Crystal, I did see where we've gotten a contractor back to continue to work on some of those easements, some of those stormwater drainage areas that we've had problems with. What day is that scheduled for? I thought it was this week. I didn't realize it was tomorrow. Okay, well, hopefully the weather's supposed to be better tomorrow. Maybe they can really get some work done and we can reschedule the county now for some of that we've had to put off. So is that okay with you on that?
First I've heard of it. Sounds good.
Okay. Last night we had the public meeting on the water sewer at Steel Creek Lodge. There was a pretty good amount of people that attended that. So I thought the meeting went well. I appreciate a couple of you staying down there with us for the time to try to answer the questions and look at that project. So hopefully we can now start to see some movement over there. So Jason, are you going to go over our budget meeting and your stuff?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, I'll let that go to you. I think a couple of the houses that we've been discussing that needed some attention on some cleaning or possible demolition, there has been a little movement on some of those. Tom's here if y'all want to specifically ask him anything regarding the properties. But Tom, I know you've asked me a couple of times regarding the prices we've got. You said that some of the other cities have been having problems getting bids from somebody to do the demo work also, I think.
Yeah, I've initially contacted half a dozen people, and most of them are out of town or they don't want to forward with it. We've only got one bid from Miss Sam. It's up to the council if they just want to move forward with it. We actually take the invoice we get after we pay it, and we send it to Mobile County. It's put on a tax bill.
And Tom had been saying that we have been trying to get multiple bids on projects, or at least 3. And on this particular one, he just can't seem to get anybody to call back. So if y'all want to, let's go ahead and move forward. We may have to just award it with one bid, but I know that is not something we wanted to do. What's y'all's thoughts on the matter?
Exactly the properties we're talking about
The 6th Street property, is it?
on the 6th Street, that was one of my questions. I was gonna make sure we was, continuing to try to deal with that also. I know the other ones that you mentioned, is that the ones that we dealt with last meeting, as far as getting a little progress?
Where we had the public hearing,
Where we
yes,
had it, yeah.
they have started some work.
Okay.
Those people were given until sometime in October to
Yeah.
get some movement over there, so we're waiting on that.
But these other properties, that, in particular that one on 6, that have we,
We've done all the correct paperwork, and it's been a year or 2 since we actually had a resolution, I think, to abate the properties and move forward with it.
me myself, I'm ready to move forward.
Okay.
I can agree with that.
If, if he's listed for bids, we only got one, as long as it's a fair price, I'm with
We've had a
him.
couple
Let's move forward.
I think we're in line with the same thing.
That's what I'm saying. If it's a fair price, let's move forward.
Just want to make sure y'all were all in agreement on that.
Is that, have we already adopted the resolution on that one or not? Okay.
How about making sure we review it, make sure that we've got everything taken care of legally? Tom said he thought we had.
No, we did. We went through them. I just refreshing my memory. There was some that's one of the old ones that we'd actually voted on. And then the other ones were the ones last week that we gave the extra time on.
Yeah, I specifically remember the 6th Street one.
There was a third house over there on Bradford behind the high school. We actually wrote that guy a citation. He was wounded and he was shot or something, and so he had good reason not to be able to do anything. But now we wrote him a citation last November, and he was fined $500, and he paid that fine eventually. We've written him another citation because he just hasn't done anything. So we're doing everything we can right now. We did have that was part of that motion to abate that nuisance over there, but I mean, there's 2 or 3 vehicles over there, there's trailers, and just the logistics of what to do with all that stuff. We take it to the trash ramp and hold it, and charge him fees to keep it there, and he wants to fix the house, but tear down the outbuildings, and so for now, we're just writing him a citation. I know the church has had a real problem with it over there. Let's see what happens.
That was this property, right? That you,
Yes.
yes, okay.
Can you put together a report on we have done, so we'll know exactly what we've done in the past, what we have going now, and that way we can decide what we need to do?
I've got that list you asked me about ready to give you.
Okay. Thank you, and I'll forward that for y'all to look over when we get that. Mr. Little, I don't know if you're going to bring this up or not, but it seems like every time we sit up here and discuss, people putting bigger and bigger piles out. It just gets worse. I don't know what we're going to have to do
Mayor,
we're going to have to stop that.
I've tried to deal with 2 more instances that's going on now. So stay firm and do what we're supposed to do and try to let the property owners know that that's contract work. So how far that's got, you know, I've been over there one certain place a few times, but I haven't caught them over there. I was gonna try to, you know, speak with them myself. But, hey, we're trying to deal with it.
The city has to come up with a better way to tell the individuals, that they all pretty much know 2 cubic yards, a pickup truck full. But as far as they're concerned, that's fine, so they may put out there 30 yards, which is what we're dealing with now. And, you know, we're only gonna pick it up once every week or so. So how do you get that across to them that we won't allow that?
Well, and on the other hand also, I know in the office here that when they come to buy a permit, a contractor does, they are told, you know,
Sure.
that they have to take care of the debris and all, but yeah, that between there and then the homeowner, that's true. Maybe we need to try to figure a little different process out there, or a little better process as far as getting that information, you know, to all the citizens. Now, in this one instance, the reason they're probably doing what they're doing, they didn't come by a permit, so they're in violation there also, so.
But when these people put piles that are actually out in the road, I think common sense would tell them that that's way over what they need to be putting out. And we need to, I think some of these people,
That contractor's putting it in the road on purpose, saying, you know, well, the city will come by and they're gonna pick it up, it's halfway out here in the road, you know?
The majority of the time over the years, we've been able to touch base with the contractor. Somebody will say, oh, that was so-and-so tree service, and they come and fix it. We've got a couple of cases now, right now, that we got homeowners saying, we did that ourselves, we did not hire a contractor. So it's a he said, she said deal. But that still doesn't resolve the issue.
On the, as part of the permit, does it state on there that they're responsible for the debris?
The permit is a tree removal permit, and then there's a sentence in there that says if the contractor must remove his own debris.
Okay.
But we have a rule that says if a homeowner wants to cut a tree down in his yard, if he cuts it down, we're gonna haul it off 2 cubic yards at a time.
Right.
But not, you know, they can't put out the whole thing and then complain that the grass is dead.
Yeah.
So how, I don't know if you wanna do this on the internet, Facebook, website.
Tom, what's the fines of the contractor if he puts it side the road knowing he ain't
We've
supposed
never
to?
had a contractor that we did not wanna pick it up after we got a hold of them.
What I'm getting at, you having to go run them down, they know it's not right. What is the fine though, if they cut it down, put it side the road and didn't haul it off, is there a fine?
If it comes to that, all of our ordinances, there's a Class B misdemeanor, I believe, and it's not very much, $50, $100 at the most.
Maybe that's one way to address that, you know, it's in the fines, and if they don't do it, fine them, not go run them down and say you gotta come back.
But we have not come across a contractor who, once we confronted them, didn't come back and pick it up because they knew they would get a fine. So it's the ones who argue the fact that, oh, I did that myself. And how do you prove that?
well, I think I asked Charlie and some of the guys when they out doing it, just take their phone and take a picture of some of the people that's cutting these things down. I mean, I've done that a few times and myself. I mean,
This
and
file over here on Elvira, that the neighbors claim that they rented a piece of equipment, did it themselves, but then we got people saying, no, that piece of equipment, so what are we gonna do about that?
I'd ask to see the rental slip too. If they said that, where's the rental slip? Where they rented?
I threw it away.
Because it's got to be bad riding around the city. There is a lot of, and it's just not small piles. I mean, the whole yard, it's 100-foot long.
It doesn't
Lined
bother
up.
them, they're seeing
And what it's doing is creating a problem for all the other citizens. If you got a small amount of trash you cleaned up Saturday, it don't get picked up because you've gotten all this you're fooling with on 4 or 5 people.
But
What if they're just picking up the 2 cubic yards a week? That's when they call and complain about, well, my pile's been there for a month, well, your pile's oversized.
Well, it gives us other problems too, Crystal. They're putting it in the ditch. We're having all this rain. We're stopping the flow. We're a fire hazard. There's all kind of issues with that sitting there for a month. Besides, we're just picking up 2 years because it becomes a safety issue.
Some of the cities have an ordinance that say you can't put, Mobile does, you can't put it out except for the day of pickup. You can't have it out on the street. They'll fine you if you do, if some of the homeowners are doing that.
Or you can't put out 2 cubic yards at a time on the street. You can't line up a 100-foot long stretch. Because like I say, some of them's in the ditches and that's hurting this drainage everybody's complained about.
So, we did have one call, a lady in Vaughn's, her son came into town to help her cut down dead trees, and they put them all out at once. And she said that, we can't do a little bit at a time, because they're here to help me today. And so they put it all out, and I said, you understand it may take a while to get it, and she was fine with that. But, some people do have family members that help them, and they're not gonna cut one tree and stop.
Well, I totally agree. I'm just saying, this council has to figure out a way to tell the public no more than 2 cubic yards. If you want to fine them if they exceed that, that's up to you all. I mean, it's the only way you're going to stop it. 99% of the time, the stuff is.
Tom, can you get with Crystal and maybe with Charlie, I don't know, and see if we can get some ordinances from some of the other cities? Like Jay said, I know that putting it out a day or so before is one thing, but I mean, some of these piles, they put them out over the weekend, they're there 2 weeks, and I hate to say it, but some of the same houses we go to over and over and over, it's the 90% of the people comply with the policy.
Originally, we were going to do a once-a-week deal, and it worked. But now people have taken advantage of it, and it may be a week to 10 days or more before we make it through the neighborhood again to get 2 cubic yards. And if it may be a slow day, they might pick up a little more, but, there's some of these piles you're talking about now that they're coming by once a week or so and picking up a couple of, and, it's all dried out. You're right, it's fire hazard.
If the weather looks good, maybe we can try to work Saturday and help them catch up. I know they'd been talking about it, but we've had some bad weather on the weekends, and I didn't see any reason to put them out on, while it was out bad weather and all, so.
We need to catch up on it, there's no doubt about it.
Okay. As far as items to cover tonight, that's basically it. I can move on. Mr. Little, Public Services.
I would pretty much mention that. I think I'm good.
We're good, sir.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. Mr. Skelton.
So I emailed everyone a revised budget today, showing our revenues and projected expenses. I ask you to take a look at it and see where we can, trim and make some viable cuts it's not detrimental to your department, because we're going to have to kind of dig deep, get down so we can balance it. And that's really all I have. So
To us or the department heads?
I sent it to everybody. It's on I may have spelled your email wrong.
Did you do Reese or
Yeah,
Cross? Yes,
Reese.
I don't have a Reese.
What?
People already had
I'll send it to you.
the Cross, and
Do you think that we might try to schedule another workshop on this?
Yeah, it's going to have to happen. If we're going to try to pass it pretty quick.
How about, how's y'all's schedules looking? We don't have any meetings next week that I'm aware of. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or do y'all have any nights that you wouldn't be available?
I mean, Thursday's fine. That gives you plenty of time to post it.
You want to make a public hearing or another council workshop on the budget for September 30th? Okay,
What time?
that's what I was just fixing.
5:30.
yes, sir.
And also, at that time, we'll need to look hard at the calendar, the meeting schedule and the holiday schedule. Make a decision so we can get that into the personnel board, probably by the first meeting in October. Just those two schedules, at least.
Okay?
When does the budget need to be passed? The first meeting in October?
Ideally.
Ideally, you don't have to.
Okay.
Some cities do it out, but
Mr. Skelton, you got any?
That's all I have.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Reese?
Yes, sir. Did you want me to go over everything briefly and then do it again at the regular council meeting?
And if it's just revising us of library programs or something like that, but if it's, money or work items, we
Sure.
need to cover it.
So I know about the banners that you had preferred to wait till after hurricane season. And I just Googled when hurricane season is over, and it's like November 30th. So I hope we don't have to wait that long, since we have the fall and the Christmas banners. Do you know that if we could do it maybe first week of October, get those up?
Schedule those in October. I think that would be good.
October? Okay. Thank you. And then I've spoken to Crystal here and there about the needs for the tournament at Wright Park on Saturday. And they had requested if we could get the grass cut on the fields, along with some extra garbage cans. And then also 2 additional portalets at the C and D field.
All of it being taken care of.
Okay, great. Thank you. And the quote for the Lions Park door, did we get to move forward on that one?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And then Mayor, did you have an update from the person about the entrance signs? They were going to maybe come get them and refinish them or redo them. Do we have an update on that?
He told me that his wife was sick and he would call me as soon as he could do it. I've called him multiple times.
Okay.
He hasn't come back yet. He did say he would do it,
Okay.
but he just wouldn't commit to when he would. So,
Sure. I just wanted to touch base because I'd forgotten
think-
about that. And the other ones were just little things that I can mention at the next meeting. Oh, were we going to discuss the possible bonus for the extra money that we'll be getting from the government? Did anybody?
It's not on the agenda.
No, we were just going to discuss it, not formally. But I know people were going to maybe bring ideas or talk about it. Just open communication about it.
I think that didn't we say we were going to see what the other cities were doing and have a comparison so we could do that? Have you had a chance to find out from the other cities yet on what they
Yes,
did?
sir.
And make
Trish,
it,
finalized that today, and she was gonna put it in email to me. So we did talk to the other cities.
so we can go ahead and say we're going to, our intentions are to give some bonuses, and then, next week, I guess, at our budget meeting, we can find out what we want to do and coordinate exactly what our intentions are as far as bonuses, Christmas bonuses, our change in the holiday schedule, all those things, I think.
Shouldn't that be in the bonus anyway, Jason? If you go give that, shouldn't it be showing in the budget anyway?
We've got the recovery money shown, and then we've got it shown being taken out, just to
Okay.
balance the 2 lines. So,
So more discussion at the workshop. Okay.
Yeah, I've got it. I'll forward the email to everybody.
All right. Thank you. That's all.
I've seen where the state is asking for areas that have slow or no internet services to be reported because they want to have that. And I know that that was one of the things that the COVID relief could be. But if the state might be offering some help, I'd like to see if we can pursue that because it came up last night at the meeting that area of a large part, I guess, of the Baker Road on the other side of the interstate in Satsuma Oaks area, Regina Drive, all the way down, that there's no internet down there. And they were talking about they have to bring their children up here to the school or over to the library to get on the internet to do their work
Be
assignments.
good.
So if we could, you know,
Sounds like we'd be a
Look at that.
candidate then. I didn't
Yeah.
know that they, didn't realize they didn't have any.
that's what I was told
Sure,
by the
sure.
people. That's what, I don't live over there, but I don't think they would have just said
Yeah,
that.
I've heard that on several occasions as well.
Yeah, they were saying that
Wow, okay.
more than a few of them.
Okay, anything else, Ms. Reese?
No, sir.
Mr. Phillips?
Mayor, I just keep what I got to the meeting, that we just had day-to-day operations. Since the last meeting, nothing out of ordinary.
Well, it is 6:30, and that's less than a half hour for our pre-council, so, thank all of you. I don't know of anything else that will come up. We can scan our paperwork and all real quick and see if there's anything else we need to address, but maybe we can move forward tonight.
We're gonna need to add item J for setting that work session. So we'll have to amend the agenda to include item J.
We needed to,
Didn't leave no room either.
All right, well, the rest of them was just going down the list. So, real quickly, payment of the bills.
Yeah, I got that one.
I'll second it.
Randy and Jason making second, and B is consideration of the resignation for Duncan Harrington, as full-time police officer, to be effective September the 12th, in good standing, so I guess he's already gone and started his new job.
I'll do that.
I'll second.
C, consideration of accepting the settlement offer from State Farm for a total loss on the 2021 Ford Interceptor utility vehicle in the amount of $53,547.25.
Do that one.
I can second it. I'm sorry. I'm just wondering if that person was okay.
I'm sorry, Mr. Butler will not be here. Miss Evelyn called this evening around 4, said that, he had a procedure done at the hospital today, and that he's just on bed rest for the rest of the evening.
I can second that.
I'm sorry.
Thank you for letting us know.
Hey, just a little clarification there. Chief, is that, I assume that's all the equipment, everything in it, or do we get to take that out to put it in another vehicle, or how does that work?
I salvaged most of the equipment.
Most of that, so this price is after all that's gone, right?
That's what they offered us, and like I said, I got as much as I thought we could use in the next one. There was some stuff that was damaged that wasn't salvageable, but I did get some of the equipment. I probably got $5,000 worth of equipment out of it.
Okay.
Officer, okay?
Is that aluminum just crumpled?
I was reading this, Chief. It says actual cash value, subtotal, and then it says total net payable to you, 46,000.
That's, they deducted the 7,000 they've already.
That they
sent us.
already paid,
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
So 53,47.25.
Okay, that's the settlement. D, consideration of ordering a replacement vehicle off the state bid list to replace the 2021. I'd like to table this, if y'all don't mind, and let's look at, I mean, don't we have 3 cars on order already?
Yes, sir.
I mean, you know, what, I'd like to find out before we buy another one and go through another process of what we've happened in the past. I'd like to see who can get the car. Is it, apparently, those first 2 cars have been ordered for what?
Probably 5 months. But I did get an update from Stivers Ford. One of them had finished construction and was just waiting to be shipped to the dealership. The other one was in production. And as far as the Tahoe is built. They were waiting on a chip. But the actual structure and everything of the vehicle was ready. They were literally just waiting on one chip to put in it before they shipped it to the dealer. So hopefully we'll have 3 within the next month.
I seen where we when Jason had in the budget, where we had a few cars financed right now. Do y'all know how much is owed on them?
Yeah, we looked at that today, and it's in that report I sent you. It's, what we said, like $6,000. I mean, it'll be paid off in 4 months,
Yeah, it's only four.
so only 4 more payments left.
Because I was wondering, if there's a lot of money owed on them.
No, it was,
$6,000.
yeah, those were 2019s that we financed for 3 years.
I would
think-
assume that D would be the direct replacement for the one that was totaled, so it seems like there would be an immediate need. Well, that's, I guess, just how I understand that, where it follows the one that was totaled.
I think it's what Mr. Phillips was saying. I heard him the other night and tonight, so don't let me speak for you, but you're saying you'd like to take some of this money we got on that garbage truck and pay off some of the other trucks down there, and the
Well, I was
truck
gonna
money we
discuss
got
it
on
at the
this,
budget meeting, but yeah.
and then this,
Jason was
what
talking
we
about
got here,
ideas. Yeah.
he wanted to pay off the vehicles we already have
I
totally,
just,
and let's
I
find
just
out-
don't like toting credit on stuff if you got the money to pay it off. I mean, I just think it's foolish to have loans out there we can get rid of.
It's the length of time it's taking us to get it, it ain't gonna really matter if we wait 2 weeks from tonight to try to order it anyway, because, I mean, it looks like you're still looking at several months down the road, and, I would like for us to look and see if we might be able to get some of the other vehicles a little faster. And I don't know what we might get, if what he's saying is correct, a Tahoe might be able to get here 3 times quicker than another Explorer if we've been waiting that long on those two. I just don't know what's available and what we can get, what the prices are this year.
I did ask Stivers about getting another 21 model. They said the 21 model cannot order anymore, so if we did order another Ford, it would be a 22 model. I have not inquired about the Tahoes, but I will research that if that's the council's pleasure.
Not only the Tahoes, but what is, projected delivery date on what we're looking to buy, because I think that's gonna be a very important part of what we decide to get also.
I think I've got that paper in my truck, because I actually printed the bid list off. I should have brought it in, but I didn't think about it.
I thought the bid list was vehicles that are ready for you to come get immediately.
Not all
Is
the
that
time.
not?
They
I don't
used to
think
be.
that's the case
But
right
I
now.
mean, that's what we got
Before the
off
chip
bid
shortage,
list.
it was.
Yeah, one time it was.
Most of the time when things are normal, we
Yeah.
have about a 12-week lead time between the time we order and the time it hits the big lot. Of course, these last Explorers, like I say, have taken longer because of the chip shortage, and like I said, our Tahoe is pretty much done except for one chip. And so it sits on a lot, so probably somewhere in Canada waiting on the chip to be there.
So if it's okay, we'll table that one. Going on to E, $100 annual dues for the Mobile County Municipal Association.
Oh, can I make that motion? Is that a conflict of interest? I don't know.
Allison.
Can I vote on that? Or do I have to abstain?
Vote on that.
Okay.
F, consideration of grant used for right of entry agreement on space for the Satsuma water tank. You decided it had to be handled through us instead of the
I
council.
looked since we had the water board meeting, and that tank is by the whole city hall, and it's still on that one piece of property. Can't find any evidence that it's ever been deeded to the water board. We could still give the money to the water board, but it wasn't in the ordinance where we gave the collection system, and it's still on the tax records as being that whole lot with the water tank on it. So
I would think we need to get that taken care of and get that transferred over to the water board. So
I
let's go
agree.
ahead and do that. For the purposes tonight, we're renting a space on the water tower to someone to put an antenna on the water tower. And so that's just money we're going to bring in. But
it's a short-term lease too. It's for about 3 months. But, we need to get the money either to the water board or to the city, but they had requested it be in the name of the owner of the tank, and it appears to be the city at the moment.
that's just an oversight if it was never deed
Right.
that to the.
Well, I think it was done intentionally because it's all on it was with City Hall and the Waterworks Department. It's that whole lot is still in the name of the city, and the water tank, probably would be better to lease the water tank to the, or either get a description of where it sits within that lot. I think that's probably why it never was switched over.
And then if you done that, you'd probably have to subdivide it and all that.
I mean, might be better just to lease the water tank to the water board, let them be, and let them have the maintenance requirements of it and whatever revenue like this that comes off of it.
You just do a 99-year lease.
All right. F, consideration of grant for an easement in the city's right-of-way to the Satsuma Water and Sewer Board for the use of a lift station. You got it in the Restore Act project, but,
I thought we had already done that.
I did too.
Well, I talked to them last night at the public hearing, and we just need to table that. They moved it, from where it was over on the
Yes.
Baldwin property, and it's on the other. So if we'll just table that one till we, the one on the lease, because we've got to get the description.
you mean the easement, don't you? G.
Yeah.
Consideration of declaring a 2006 Toyota Corolla as surplus and authorizing disposal. Basically just allowing us to sell the vehicle and gives the VIN.
I'll do that.
Second.
Little, Mr. Skelton seconded. Okay, and I understood that there may be some members from the high school to be here tonight on this. I was kind of a late ad, so I'd asked them just to bring this up tonight so we could discuss it. But do you know if Chief McLean and Mr. Racui are going to make the?
What is it? I couldn't hear it. I'm sorry, Chief, I couldn't hear you.
Mr. McCooey indicated that he would not be in attendance tonight.
As far as discussing maybe what time we set it, or?
He's just wanting, and in the past, how there's been an ordinance for homecoming week setting curfew from, midnight to 6 a.m. He was just asking that the council do that again this year, that it's gotten a little out of hand, and with there not being a curfew right now ordinance, the police can't do anything, about the children being out doing that. So he just asked if we would do the ordinance again like we do every year.
I'm assuming it's based on all the
Facebook post.
stuff, not necessarily the toilet paper, but the
Acts of vandalism,
canned goods.
food
They're
products.
pouring food all over porches, and there's more than just rolling yards going on.
So he just wanted to see if we would do the curfew, so the police would be able to.
But I also heard they're going early.
Going what?
Early. Yeah, they're not waiting till midnight.
I recommend it.
Mine was at
You a high school kid, unless you're coming home from work, got off at 10 o'clock, you ain't got no business out. Yes.
I did not.
Whatever y'all
I didn't
want to
It
do
needs
that.
to be discussed, Mayor.
Okay. Y'all think about that, or let's bring it up at the meeting, and we'll go further. Okay, going into resolutions, the resolution 2021-09-01, resolution to adopt rules of regulation of Satsuma Dog Park. Consideration of resolution 20. Are we just introducing these tonight, or?
We introduced the dog park last, September 7th, is to actually approve that one. And you're introducing the surplus, up in the items of discussion, so you just can approve that one as well.
Does it have to be put up for immediate adoption on B?
Because you'd introduced it during.
Okay.
Well, who wants, I guess Allison, you want to take the dog
Oh,
park?
the dog park. Yes, sir. This will be the rules that will be posted to protect the city and the citizens that will be using the dog park. It's already been looked over by Jay and his group.
Who's going to second your motion?
Randy, you want to take it? Jason, don't
I'll
be shy.
second you.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
All right, on the next one, be consideration of the surplus property.
I'll get that one.
I'll second it.
And homecoming curfew, I guess we can do that. And prior to adjournment, we'll set a budget workshop for Thursday, the 30th, at 5:30 PM.
Yep.
Is anything else that you think will come up? Okay, well, we still have about 16 minutes, so we'll recess our workshop and come back at 7 o'clock for our meeting. Chief, you about ready there? Okay, y'all ready? Okay, it's 7 PM, and maybe we can get started tonight and move on through our agenda pretty quick tonight. So our pre-council was pretty productive and moved fast, so hopefully that'll be an indication of our meeting tonight. As always, we ask that everyone try to social distance or wear the mask, or at least kind of stay spread out. And I know some of y'all are here together, so that's fine. But we still do want to practice the best COVID practices that we can. So, with that being said, we're going to move on to our invocation, and we are fortunate enough to have one of our local preachers here again tonight. And so, Brother Steve, would you mind coming up and saying a word? And then, if you would, please stand, remain standing, and we'll go into the Pledge of Allegiance after he's completed. Thank you.
Father, we just come before your throne today, thanking you for your love, your mercy, and your grace. Lord, we just ask as we are in this council meeting tonight, we ask for the wisdom and direction of the power of the Holy Spirit to our council members and mayor. I pray, God, that everything will go perfectly fine, and I know that there are kind of things that are going on that they're trying to get taken care of. I pray, God, that doors will be open, and God, I pray things will be taken care of. Pray for our city, the people in our city that are sick with COVID, those that are dealing with other illnesses. I pray, God, for healing. God, that you touch and bring healing to each and every one of them. Lord, bless our city in every way as we lift our voices up to you, and as we look to you for the answers. We ask, God, that you touch in Jesus' name. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Brother Steve. Heather, would you give us a roll call, please?
Councilmember Little,
Present.
Councilmember Butler, Councilmember Skelton,
Here.
Councilmember Reese,
Present.
Councilmember Phillips,
Here.
Mayor Barlow.
Here. Please let the record reflect all except for Mr. Butler are here, including our city attorney, city clerk, and the other department heads. Moving on to item number 4, the approval of the agenda, and I think there was going to be an add-on on that tonight.
Make a motion, we approve the agenda with addition of item 9J, which will set a work session to discuss the fiscal year 22 budget and other city business.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. I think it was discussed at the pre-council, so with that being said, all those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Okay, well, moving on. Our last regular meeting was the September 7th, 2021. We have our minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes as distributed?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Skelton, seconded by Mr. Phillips to approve the minutes as distributed. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Okay, moving on past 6 with no recognitions, we're going to move into number 7. Visitors. Our visitors, we ask that if somebody comes up, to come to the podium, give your name and address, and tell us what it's about. If it's something that's on the agenda or we've discussed previously, we may allow that to go on a little while we can answer the questions. If it's something that we don't have on the agenda, we haven't discussed, we may have to ask you to come back at another meeting after allowing us time to research what the question may be. So with that being said, we have one person that has signed up on the agenda. It's Mr. Mike Davis with the Satsuma Community Development Organization. So Mr. Davis, would step on up, please.
My name's Mike Davis. I live at 400 Burning Tree Drive here in Satsuma. I'm representing the SCDO on our Christmas parade and Arts and Crafts Festival. For this year, it's set for December the 4th. What I want to inquire about mainly is the city going to be available to help us with the setup of the Christmas tree and some of the other things that we're going to be doing at the square, like they have done in the past. We're actually going to do that on November the 10th, which is a Wednesday. It's the day we've set to decorate the square and put up the Christmas tree.
That shouldn't be an issue, Mike.
It shouldn't?
No, if you would get with Crystal and, just so she has time to plan for it, setting the tree and stuff should be an issue.
Okay. That's it.
We have new equipment this year. We have new equipment.
Good,
Not
because I've
broken
lost my
equipment.
contact to
boom
get
truck.
mine.
What time, is the Christmas parade?
Right now, 11 o'clock.
11?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Mike, do you have a time for November 10th?
Yes, ma'am. We're going to start at 8 o'clock in the morning. And there should be a handful of us there to help. Some of the ladies are going to be there. The way the Christmas tree has to go up in sections, they have to decorate it and then set it up there. So that's usually what takes so long, is the ladies to put the decorations on it. But it goes quick. So.
I just wasn't sure if y'all were doing the lighting or anything this year separately.
We're going to try to get the colored lights put back in the street lights. And then we are going to put up what they call them, little Einstein lights or whatever they are. We're going to put up some of them.
Edison.
Huh?
Edison.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I forgot, I'm Einstein. So, thank y'all, appreciate it.
Okay, Crystal, just go ahead and make sure we get that listed. If the weather prevents that day, I'm sure we'll do it in the next day or so around it, so.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mike, we're looking forward to y'all getting square, looking good again this year, as y'all have for many years in the past. Thanks for all y'all do.
We missed last year, so we don't shoot for it good this year.
Yeah, let's hope everything works out. Okay, if you would, if anybody else would like to come on before the council and just state your name and tell us what brings you up tonight.
Hi.
Hello.
Right.
Hi, my name is Cassandra Sanders, and I am a resident and a member of the Sunlight Missionary Baptist Church. This is my bishop.
How you doing?
Hey, how
He's
are y'all?
the pastor of Sunlight Missionary Baptist Church, and we are coming to you all because we have been trying to get some help with cleaning up a home that's next door to my mom. My mom has been a citizen of Satsuma for 55 years. Our church has been in existence for over 75 years. And the only thing that we were trying to do was get him to clean it up. Before my dad passed away, he was determined to get that cleaned up because there's new families that's living in that area. There are children. I have 17 grandchildren, and they go to my mom's house every day. And every day I am worried about them getting bit by a snake or rats that's eating through our church, coming through our sanctuary. And the people, when we went to the Facebook, it wasn't to low grade anybody or talk anybody down. It was just that we had been trying for 4 or 5 years to get him to get it clean. So it's not like we're trying to, bash anybody or anything. We just want to know what we need to do to get it clean.
Okay, tonight in pre-council, we had it was the former building inspector. He still works part-time for us here, and we discussed some properties. The property you're referring to was one of the discussions we had. We asked that he put together a report stating the actions that's already been taken by the city, asking him to clean up, and what actions we have planned in the near future to see if we can get him to comply with our request to do some removal. And so we did discuss that at pre-council, and we've already all agreed to pursue that. But I would like to find out exactly what we've done in the past, kind of where we're at today and what path we need to take in order to.
We did it before, I spoke with the mayor and made this complaint numerous of times, so we just trying to get results.
Yeah.
Is this the one where he said they were fined last November? So they were fined already?
Yes, fine, and lights was
I think
cut
they've
off,
been
water
fined.
was
Yeah.
cut off.
And
they still
my grandkids go to school with his kids, and I'm talking about we're a family neighborhood. And when I say I was born, bred, and raised in Satsuma, I'm a real Gator. When you see your town, you know, in your community looking like that. You don't want to go and try to make anybody feel bad. Just, we offer to help him to clean it up.
Sure.
So whatever y'all can,
What does he tell you? Like I said, I know y'all went, you know, especially your dad, seen, what does he tell you when you offer to help him?
Nothing.
nothing,
Don't answer you.
nothing.
We took pictures. I came to the mayor, the former mayor, showed him the pictures. They sent the inspector out. They cut the lights off, the water off. Started cleaning up, and it got worse.
Yeah, it's been getting worse. I mean, it's constantly, and it's like,
Lights and water still off?
It's back on.
it's the lights
back.
on. There's a
They're back
they're
on.
Just to clarify, we didn't cut any lights or water off.
No, it just,
Right.
But maybe,
you know, people go through hard times, and it's even been where my mom and my dad has helped them out. So, you know, it's just like, you know, not trying to beat him down, just need him to get it clean, you know?
That's right.
Everybody deserves to live in a decent, I was raised in this area, and we've never had anything like this.
Right.
So I just,
The thing is, Mr. Skelton's saying, you know, rather than just speak about one single property, we are trying to address several properties here in our city right now
Good.
that, you know, there needs to be some action taken on, and this process has been slow, and I agree, and I apologize for that, but I think it's something every city battles. So let's just say that it may take us a little time to get something done, but there will be some type of action taken over there. So, and there was a lot of comments, you're right, on the
Yeah.
Facebook post that
horrible,
was made.
horrible.
but we do
listen to
thank y'all for
mean
this.
Yeah, it was horrible. I was like, this is not my city.
Right.
Thank
But
you.
anyway, thank y'all for coming.
you.
Thank you.
Okay, well, Mr. Davis and Ms. Sanders there coming up tonight. I don't know if we have anybody else that may want to approach tonight. Let us know what they may have. So, well, if no one else has anything tonight, then we'll go into the regular order of business. So we can kind of speed this up tonight. I don't have a bunch of items, and some of the things are going to be discussed, I think, by the council members as we move down. I did inform everybody of a water sewer meeting last night that we kind of hosted, but it was at the request of the county over the water sewer project on the west side of I-65 Service Road. We met from 5 to 7 p.m. at Steel Creek Lodge, where it was the city of Satsuma, Mobile County, the engineering firm of Mott and McDonald, and we tried to answer the questions and show where the interstate would be bored, the approximate length of the bore. They gave that type of information, what the first phase of this project will hopefully accomplish. So I did want to put that out tonight. We did have a budget workshop that Mr. Skelton is going to mention a little further. Right along with this cleanup, we had a long discussion in pre-council regarding the debris piles, and I think we're going to look at some ordinances from other cities and what they're doing to combat this problem. But some of these huge piles that are being put out, we have got to find a way to stop that, because with us just trying to run the debris truck, and we actually been short in that department for several months now. It's really kind of showing the amount of debris we have. We are going to try to work, weather permitting, and it looks like it'll be pretty, maybe Saturday, to try and work a little overtime to get some of these piles picked up. You think that'd be a good idea, Mr. Little, on that?
It'd be fine, Mayor.
So, I did want to say that we were we'd like to give our condolences. One of the council members from Creola, Mr. Palmer, he lost his wife a few days ago, Regina. So, Heather, if we can, let's try to send something from us, just a card or something up there to them. So, Mr. Palmer, I think, actually attended a meeting or two after we come in, didn't he, here? So, anyway, it's very sad of his wife. And also the City of Mobile Council President, Levon Manzi, maybe y'all saw that he passed away Very sorry to hear that. I think we just went through the election about 3 weeks ago or so we need to remember those in your prayers. So with that, I think everything else is going to be covered by council as it goes down. So we're moving on to public services. Mr. Little?
Mayor, we did mention at length in the pre-council about the pickup, and like I say, this service is great, and people, takes advantage of it, but there's not that many of them. So there is a problem, but we continue to work on it, and like I say, maybe get a few more ideas from other cities there that maybe can get us, to another point there. But we're dealing with it. We're gonna move forward. That's all, Mayor.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Little. Mr. Kelly?
The only thing I have is, we had a budget work session last Thursday night. Had some pretty good discussion, and we come out of that meeting and I compiled some numbers, projected revenues and expenses and everything like that, and got it back out to the members today and the department heads, and now it's time to start arm wrestling to see who gets what. So we're going to have another work session next Thursday, a week from this Thursday, and try to finalize everything, see where we're at. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you, and I appreciate the work on that. You're right. I think it's going to probably be we might be better prepared to stay for a few hours the next Thursday night when we try to hash this out. Moving on to Ms. Reese, Parks.
Yes, sir. We plan to discuss in the workshop next week the American Rescue Plan, the bonuses to city employees. Also, the next municipal dinner will be in Sims on Thursday, October 21st at 7 p.m. And I guess we probably need to be thinking about, since we host in November, thinking about catering and whatnot, arrangements for that. Also, we'll be looking forward to the seasonal banners being hung the first week in October. We were supposed to do those last year, but due to some complications with equipment, we will be rolling those out this year, and I'm very excited to see those in the city. Also, Wright Park, there's going to be a tournament there this weekend, and they have requested that the grass be cut on the fields, 2 portalettes reserved for C and D fields, and extra garbage cans, and Crystal let me know that she was already taking care of that. Asked the mayor about the entrance signs to the north and south of the city, and the gentleman that had agreed to come out and do the repairs and I guess renovations of those has still planning to do that. Also, the library AC unit in one of the rooms was giving them problems, and they're going to just do a recharge on, I guess, do they call it Freon? I don't know what they call it, R2, something or other. Possibly more serious repair or replacement in the future, maybe next spring. They think they can limp through the rest of the warm season. So look for that, possibly for it to come up later. Also, there was a door at Lions Park that needed to be replaced. It could no longer be repaired, and Crystal let me know that that was being taken care of. And lastly, back by popular demand, the second annual Halloween Pet Parade will take place on Saturday, October 23rd in Baldwin Square. And we raised over $600 last year for the Bark Park, and we look forward to having another successful year this year. And that's all I have.
What time, Allison?
4 p.m. is when registration begins.
Thank you, Ms. Reese. Moving on to Public Works, Mr. Phillips.
Mayor, the last 2 weeks, like I said, the public service has been doing daily maintenance work, but I would like to stress the fact that the unbelievable amount of rain we've had in the last 2 weeks. And I think they've done a very, very good job of keeping the ditches flowing. I'm not aware of any homes flooding in Satsuma. Is anybody else? And, I mean, for the amount of rain we had, I mean, I know we see a lot of complaints about the drainage, but the ditches are working. There's just no way we can handle that 7, 8 inches of rain at one time without them getting filled up and backing up. But, I think they've done a good job getting the stuff out of the ditches, and that's one reason I was bringing up about the limbs. These people's piling up in the ditches, that's restricting flow, and that is creating a problem for Public Works. They've trimmed we got our boom truck, they've been trimming limbs for the school buses and the RVs, getting that out of the way, spraying ditches. So, just day-to-day maintenance. That's all I got, Mayor.
Yes, I agree. We did have some areas that are of concerns, and I think we will always be battling that. Drainage issues, I don't know that we'll ever satisfy all those, but the ditches the other morning at 4 o'clock in that downpour, I thought most of them were performing pretty well. I mean, the water was definitely flowing, and I did not hear of any water in the house or any of the businesses, although there's a couple of them that I know are getting close. So I would agree, and hopefully if they can continue to do the maintenance and identify our problem areas, we can, address them as we see them. But certain areas that have been flooding for years and years, I know it's going to be a difficult, probably an expensive undertaking to ever try and correct that. You got anything else, Mr.
No,
Phillips?
Mayor, that's all I got.
Any other comments or from the council or anything we need to go? Before we move on into our items for discussion on it and or consideration. Number 9. A is payment of our bills.
Make a motion, we pay the bills in the amount of $28,839.57.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Skelton, seconded by Mr. Little to pay the bills in the said amount. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Taken care of. Moving to B. Consideration of the resignation of Duncan Harrington as a full-time police officer effective September the 12th, 2021 in good standing.
Make that a form of a motion.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Little and seconded by Mr. Skelton to accept the resignation in good standing. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Moving on to C. Consideration of accepting the settlement offer from State Farm for a total loss of a 2021 Ford Interceptor utility vehicle in the amount of $53,000, which is going to be the total amount of $53,547.25. This is a police vehicle that was totaled in an accident.
I'll put that in form of a motion.
Second.
Motion made by Jason, seconded by Ms. Reese to accept the offer in the said amount. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
D was consideration of ordering a replacement vehicle off the state bid list to replace the car we just talked about. In our pre-council, we talked about that, and we're going to get a little more information on our vehicles and what we might want to order. So it was my understanding, I recommended, but was there any opposition to tabling this matter until we can get that information? Then I'd like a motion to table, and we'll.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you, Jason, Mr. Phillips. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Consideration of paying the $100 annual dues to the Mobile County Municipal Association for the fiscal year of 2021-22.
Make that motion.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Little and seconded by Mr. Phillips for us to pay our dues to the Mobile County Municipal Association. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Consideration of a grant land use and right of entry agreement for space on the Satsuma water tank. That's something we had because we realized the city apparently has not deeded any of that property to the water board, since it was all apparently one years ago when we put that together. Is that fair to say? So with that, any money we get off of that lease will probably just go to the water department. It ain't gonna be a large sum, but anything's better than nothing. So if the council has no problem with that, I will entertain a motion, and
I'll make that motion.
Second.
motion made by Mr. Skelton, seconded by Ms. Reese to grant the land use agreement. Any further discussion?
I
If
think,
not,
can we just mention what it is for the
Sure.
public? What this is a request for some work to be done on the CSX rail crossing that crosses the Tensas River. And they're going to set up communication towers or communication antennas on our water tower so they can communicate with a job site out on the river. So that's what this is for.
Thank you, Mr. Skelton. Moving on, consideration of a grant of easement in the city's right-of-way to the Satsuma Water and Sewer Board for the use of a lift station. You got it in the Restore Act project, but it's basically all related to what we've been talking about here and at the Water Board. So I think basically, if anybody's looking, it's kind of at the end of South Oak Drive, basically, or where the pavement stops there.
We talk about
When we
tabling
need
this.
to
Didn't we want to
Yeah,
table
we want
this?
to table it, Mayor, Mr. Mayor.
I didn't
Make
get,
that motion, we table it.
Second.
I think what we voted on before, we had voted to do it, but we didn't have the actual description before.
so we need that. Okay, it's agreed upon in the the pre-council meeting to table that item. We discussed it at that time. Is any further discussion? If not, all those in favor of tabling the motion signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed. Moving on, H, consideration of declaring a 2006 Toyota Corolla as surplus and authorizing disposal on gov deals. The proceeds to be in the Narcotics Enforcement Unit account. Was this vehicle related to a narcotics?
Yes, sir, it was a drug seizure that was awarded to us in circuit court.
I make that motion.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Little and seconded by Mr. Skelton to surplus that vehicle and the money be placed in the drug account. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
I is consideration of setting a curfew for the Satsuma High School homecoming for 2021.
Mayor, the stuff I've been reading on Facebook, something needs to be done. I mean, it's got to the point it's more than just the kids rolling the yard. I mean, I've been seeing pictures and reading where they're pouring all kind of food over the porches and vandalism property. So I personally, I'm in favor of doing a curfew, and I think Chief Harold recommended start at 9 o'clock at night. Is that right, Chief?
Yes, sir.
I'm in favor of it too. I mean, we've been doing it every year.
Yeah.
I just, there's no representation here from the school, but it was set at 12.
Yeah,
And
9 o'clock's a little early, though.
I would be more in favor of 12 o'clock myself.
Sometimes we're still out,
Let's
like
split the difference.
11.
Go to 11.
And like you said, if we're going to do this, we need to plan it next year that we do it at the council meeting prior to, bringing it up, because it's something that we've been facing every year at homecoming for quite some time. When the game is, Friday night, so it's going to be over with, hopefully.
Things is
Next
happening
few days.
already.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
ordinance usually reads through from that Monday till Sunday.
Yeah.
It's up on Sunday.
So,
Just for one
but
week.
this is going to be over on Friday night, right?
Be over this week.
Yeah.
Actually, the homecoming dance is Saturday night this year, so the ordinance usually carries it all the way over till that
Okay,
Sunday.
well then we might need to go to midnight then, because you got the dance and the football game.
I think that's why they've done
Yeah.
Well, I agree with Mr. Little and Ms. Reese that 9 o'clock is a little early.
Yeah, I was gonna say, for them, you do need to be later.
I mean, we're old people. We go to sleep early, you know, so the kids, they like to stay up a little bit
Midnight's
later.
fine, because like I say, the ball game probably won't be over 10:30,
And I
11
think
o'clock.
some of the kids like to go eat after,
right.
you know, and especially after the
I believe
dance.
homecoming dance is from 8 to 10 p.m. Saturday.
Yeah.
So, they couldn't attend that if you did not.
I'm with Mr. Phillips if we split the difference and go to 11.
I just don't, Chief, I just don't want, if we've got some kids that's went out to dinner to get in trouble because they're going home. I know your purpose is to stop them from destroying the property, so, you know, it's kind of a, what time?
Right, and the rolling and all, that's been going on for a while. That's not the issue, but it's some of these other pranks have been starting to come in, and also some complaints on the driving of these 4, 5, 6 cars going around, and I guess the kids are being kids, but, you know, we don't want to see somebody get hurt in doing some of that, so, I'll agree with curfew, but I also think that, you know, that 11 or 12 o'clock hour would be.
I do too, yeah.
Mr. Skelton, you got any?
I'll say we go with midnight since the ordinance is already written for midnight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Won't have to change that.
That makes it even easier.
Keep it easy.
I agree with that.
Anything will help.
All right. That really just come back up on ordinance 540 to make it effective. You got to make the effective dates.
So
The ordinance will change every year. I get.
So we'll put this up for immediate adoption. And since the date is, you know, September 20th, so that makes it effective tonight, right? Is that right, Chief?
I don't
Yes,
think you can get one that was effective. You had to make it, you couldn't do any earlier than tonight.
Right.
Right,
It's
but
already
I'm
in
saying,
place right now.
if you immediately adopt it tonight, it starts tonight.
And would we do that down at C though, on under
Yeah.
10? Okay.
All right, so I don't think that requires any action there. Moving number 10, resolutions, ordinances, orders, and other business.
We got J, 9J,
Workshop.
set the workshop.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
And I thought we was gonna put that
Um,
just prior to adjournments where I listed, but okay, go ahead.
Make a motion to set a work session to discuss the fiscal year 22 budget and other city business for September 30th at 5:30 PM.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Skelton, seconded by Mr. Phillips, set a workshop concerning the budget for next Thursday night, September 30th, here at the City Hall at 5:30 PM. Any further discussion on it? All those in favor signify by aye.
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 Workshop's taken care of. Now, resolutions. Resolution 2021-09-01. This is a resolution to adopt the rules and regulations of Satsuma Dog Park.
I make that in the form of a motion.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Reese and seconded by
Aye.
those opposed. B, consideration of resolution 2021-09-02 to surplus property from the police department.
I'll put that in form of a motion.
Second.
Introducing that night, Jason made the motion, seconded by Mr. Little. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
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 C, ordinance 540. Do we have, is that in the packet so we can see what wording may have to be changed to make sure that we are legal in the dates and times?
It's right here if you want it.
Everybody should have a copy.
Let me see.
It's the same one that, we had in the past, just dates.
That's what I'm saying, but we got to make it, we got to change the dates from this ordinance, right, from September 20th.
I think you
No,
have
it-
to change the date through it. That's just saying that homecoming will occur from September 20th through the 26th.
I was just saying, we're passing an ordinance saying you can't be out at midnight, which was really effective starting yesterday. That was what I was questioning. So, if it was challenged,
I haven't seen it. I think,
I'm just saying if we pass the ordinance tonight, it should be, if we're gonna make it effective today.
This the one you voted.
I know it's one we did, but I think what Mark's saying is the dates.
Just changed the 20th to the 21st, and everything else looks like it's,
Yeah, but saying it was beginning on the 20th,
Yeah, that was yesterday. You can't do one that's already
I'm
started.
saying change that September 20th,
Right.
21st.
okay, ordinance is already in effect, is all we're doing is changing the date to the 21st, through the
26th is on a Sunday.
But in that first section, we do need to leave it from the 20th through the 26th, correct? Down in section 2, you can change it where the temporary curfew is the 21st through the 26th. Because you just stated.
It's because they've already had the September, but you got it down in the section 2.
Section 2, we can change to the 21st.
Yes,
Because that's the actual,
operative section.
correct.
Okay.
That'll work.
Okay. Well, the one change, making the date from the 20th to 21st, I think we've already discussed this, it's already in there. So is there a motion made to?
So moved.
Need to suspend the rules or no?
I don't think we do, because
Think
it's
we
already.
do.
in.
She's just changing the,
Yeah.
changing the
That's
date.
the reason
That's
I
right.
thought it.
Well, I thought this was just for the week. Was it already in effect from, you're doing a new
No,
ordinance?
every year we do a new one because it's only for a week, it's a temporary thing.
Right.
Then if
Well,
it's
it's
a
an
new-
ordinance, so you need to do
Gotta-
immediate
gotta-
adoption.
Yeah, so we would have to suspend the rules
Yes.
and put it up.
I move we suspend the rules for ordinance 540 and bring it up for immediate adoption. Or, yes.
Roll call vote.
Councilmember Little,
Yes.
Councilmember Butler, Councilmember Skelton,
Yes.
Councilmember Reese.
Yes.
Councilmember Phillips.
Yes.
Mayor Barkley.
Yes. Now would you like to
I
make a
move that we
motion?
adopt ordinance 540, the homecoming curfew 2021.
Need a second? Second.
Motion made by Ms. Reese and seconded by Mr. Phillips to adopt ordinance 540. Any discussion or further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
We have covered all the items that's listed on the agenda tonight. We heard from the visitors that came before us. Is there any other action or things that the council feels we need to discuss prior to adjournment?
I have one question, and maybe I was not paying attention during that part. On 9B, it says call for a list to replace a position. Is that something we said that we weren't going to do right now?
I thought we approved that. B.
I thought you stopped at
9B.
good standing and then didn't do the call for a list.
Let's see. There's a,
I don't see what you say. I mean, consideration of resignation of Duncan Harrington as a full-time police officer effective September 12th, 2021 in good standing. We
Yeah.
discussed it pre-council and in the meeting. Randy made the motion.
Mayor, I think Trish gave you an updated agenda, you may not have picked it up.
Well, we've already covered it tonight. I don't really see a reason to go back to do that now, so.
I didn't want to interrupt you at the time, but I just didn't know if that was something that I had.
I was looking at the
Yeah, we-
old one.
The chief had sent out an email, and it was in the email that you approved. I just failed to put it on there, and the chief brought it to my attention.
Okay.
I guess I make a motion to call for a list. Is that corporal? For corporal to replace the position of Duncan Harrington.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. But when we started making motions and approving the agendas that's here, this is something that needs to be brought up. We need to all have the same agenda that we're working off of up here. And,
Well, she placed it in your box. I'm not sure that she went back by there and picked it up, because
I got my whole packet that was given to me this morning.
Mr. Phillips had the wrong one too, and she replaced his and everybody else's.
I would think if Mr. Butler were here, he would probably have brought it up at the time. So I guess just in his absence, that's why I just wanted to ask to see if that's something we needed to discuss.
I just thought that's the way it was, because mine has it on there, and I just thought that's the way we read it, or that's what.
So you had already thought we were calling for a list?
Yeah,
Okay.
because that's the way mine reads.
Sure, yeah. I guess, do we need to vote on it since we have a motion and a second?
But the only thing about it, okay, it says corporal. Okay, I think so, we'll just say corporal or corporal.
Right, but we can call for the list, but I guess are they gonna have to retest, or is the old list?
No, sir, the list is still valid. We do have one candidate remaining on the list.
Well, if there's only one candidate on the list, we already got that person's name. So you're saying you got somebody in mind you're gonna promote, that you
Yes, sir.
recommend?
Yes, sir, but I believe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that the procedure is to still call for a list, and they will send us a list, and there will pretty much be one name on that list since he's the only eligible candidate.
Okay, well, I just wanna make sure I'm clear. I'm not wanting to come back in here and find out we've had promotions and all that go on, and I wasn't even aware of that. So I wanna make sure that I relay that as clear as I know how,
Yes, sir.
that doesn't happen again.
Yes, sir.
Motion and second was to call for the corporal's list. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. Any other business to come before the council? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made, second, we adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.